Hello, everyone. Welcome to the TNT Motorsports Network for another racing video here in NR2003. We are here with the Core Season 2 version using the Northeast Dirt Modifieds, which is one of my specialties, being that I live in New York. But Core Season 2, during the off-season preseason talks, they originally had on their schedule a Core Pro Bowl at the end of the season. Well, towards the season going on, they decided to not do it. Well, I'm here to do my rendition of it. So I have all the drivers that made at least one start, regardless of anything that went on during the season. Plus the two broadcast partners, and I have Eric Estep in here because he's part of the Core family. So, with that being said, drivers being randomly placed into 3 different heats that will help with the Winner's Dash and the A Main. Now, the Winner's Dash, however, is the 7 winners during Core Season 2, which were Cody H Gaming at Daytona, Mike Winvow at Richmond, Martinsville, and Iowa. So that got him in there. Then Drive Through, winning Homestead and Canadian Tire back-to-back, got him in. Sloppy Joe, Joey Stone, got in with wins from Kansas, Michigan, Bristol, Indianapolis, Chicagoland, and Dover. And then WhatiF Racing, Brian Pasternak got his wins from Watkins Glen, Darlington, and Auto Club. And then the 25 of Black Flags Matter, Darren Gilliam won his race at Talladega, and then Trey Normile, Raw Gator winning at Atlanta. So those 7 drivers are going to be in the Winner's Dash to determine spots 1 through 7 for tonight's 150-lap A-Main here at the Chili Bowl. And everyone else from the heat races will line up 8 through 24 based upon heat race finishes. So with that being said, we'll quickly get through this. And starting lineup for heat race number 1 is going to be NASCAR and MDK, Jet Krause on the pole, the 06 of Kamikaze Games to the outside of him. Row 2 is Raw Gator and IDK Player. Row 3, Black Flags Matter, Darian Gilliam and Danny B. Talks in the 21. And then row 4, Brendan Littell and Cody H. Gaming. Green flag in the air, 15 laps is the distance for the first of 3 heat races. Going into turns 3 and 4 for the first time, it's going to be Jet Krause, MDK, leading the way. Here comes Trey Normile, Raw Gator. He's in the 2nd spot. Darian Gilliam in the 25 sits for 3rd. 4th right now is going to be Kamikaze, but here comes Brendan Littell on the inside. He'll take over the 4th spot and coming off turn number 4. He's not going to look underneath the 25 of Black Flags Matter. Darian shuts the door on him. Normile's trying to gets a run off turn 2 to reel in the 34 of MDK for a little bit, but doesn't get much of a run to help battle and compete for the win. 3 wide right there between Gilliam, Littell, and Danny B. Danny B looking on the bottom. Darian's trying to hold his ground on the high side while Littell is squeezing through the middle. And Danny B is going to prevail in the number 21. He'll take over the 3rd spot. Battle behind them is still between Darian Gilliam and Brendan Littell. IDK just gets by the 06 of Kamikaze. That's for position number 6. Littell gets by Gilliam for spot number 4. And while that's going on, all of it's happening behind the race leader of Jet Krause in the number 34. Normile sitting there for spot number 2. Here comes Danny B in the number 21, trying to get onto the 85 of Gator off turn 4. Can he get underneath him for the 2nd spot? Not quite just yet, but here comes Gilliam underneath the 22 of Littell. He'll try to take over the 4th spot. Heading into turn number 3. He's got it for now, and now he's going to challenge the 21 of Danny B for position number 2, or position number 3. Gilliam has the spot coming off turn number 2, and here comes IDK player Jonathan Ramos underneath the 22 of Littell. That's for position number 5. And Littell will lose the spot for now, with leaving IDK going to challenge the 21 of Danny B for position number 4. 5 laps to go for the number 34 of Jet Krause, NASCAR and MDK. We got Raw Gator, Trey Normile in the 2 spot. The 25, Darian Gilliam, sitting for 3rd. 4th is Jonathan Ramos. Danny B sits for 5. Littell in 6. Here comes Cody H. He's going to move up to the 7th spot as he gets around Kamikaze. 3 laps to go this time by. Here comes the 21 of Danny B trying to get underneath the 12 of IDK player. Will he make it work this time? Not just yet. 2 laps to go this time by for your race leader of the 34 of Jet Krause as he heads into turns 3 and 4, looking for the white flag this time by. MDK started on pole, took the lead, and never looked back. Off turn 2, down the backstretch for the final time. And it looks like Jet Krause, MDK, will pick up the win in heat race number 1. Second will go to Trey Normile. 3rd is Gilliam. Ramos for 3rd. Danny B at the line for 5th. Cody Hicken for 6th. 7th is Littell, and Kamikaze will round out the rest of the field. Heat race number 2 coming up right next for you here at the Chili Bowl. Alrighty, heat race number 2 set to take action. On pole is the number 1 of WhatiF Racing, Brian Pasternak, your Season 2 champion for Core. Outside of him is the 82 of Joseph Lombard and 2 SC4R. Row number 2 is Sloppy Joe, Joey Stone in the 8 on the inside, and the Iceberg, Jarrett Lundberg on the outside of him. Row number 3 is Winval, Michael Cosi Jr. in the 00, and Dale Reynolds in the 27 the outside of him. Jake Baskinger in the 38, and One Incarnation, Ryan Labonte to round out the field. 3 flags in the air, heat race number 2 in action. Wide for the lead lap number 1, and it's going to be Lombard leading that lap. And there's still 3 wide off turn 2, and now it's a 2-car battle between the 8 of Sloppy Joe and the 82 of Lombard, and Sloppy Joe takes the lead off turn number 4. Sloppy Joe with as your leader. Lombard sits for 2nd. WhatiF for 3rd. Here comes Jake Baskinger underneath Winval. That's for position number 4. Now he's going to challenge WhatiF for spot number 3. Battle behind them is between Dale Reynolds and the 00 of Winval. Again, 2 course season champions in this heat race. It's going to be interesting, and here they go. They're going to be battling as Baskinger gets by WhatiF, and here comes Dale Reynolds on the inside. WhatiF's trying to fight hard on the outside, going off turn 2. Well, all of this is happening. Your race leader of the 8 of Sloppy Joe. As we have 5 laps completed, 10 to go. Lombard sits for 2. 3rd is Jake Baskinger. Dale Reynolds knocking on the door into turn number 3. He's going to look underneath Baskinger for the 3rd spot. Off turn number 4. Reynolds has it by half a car. Baskinger trying to fight hard, but he's not going to get the outside to work. But WhatiF Racing, Brian Pasternak sits for spot number 5. Lundberg is 6th, Winval 7th, and Carnation to round out the field right now. As Sloppy Joe starting to bridge a gap between himself and the 82 of Lombard. As Sloppy Joe continues to lead the way. Here with 8 laps completed, 7 to go. So we're about halfway through. Lombard sits for 2nd. Dale Reynolds now into 3rd with Baskinger in 4th. WhatiF for 5th. Carnation gets around the 00 Winval. That's for position number 7 there. And we're going to be coming around 4 or 5 laps to go in this heat race. Sloppy Joe continues the lead. Lombard sits there for 2. Dale Reynolds right there currently sitting in 3rd with the 38 of Baskinger watching from 4th. Lombard goes way up to the top side coming off corner number 4. That's going to close the gap some for the 27 of Dale Reynolds, who's trying to hunt him down for the 2nd spot. 3 laps to go this time by. Dale Reynolds trying to close that gap between him and Lombard for the second spot. But right now, Lombard still keeping it clean for the time being. And Reynolds now goes to the high side this time in turns 1 and 2. He might have lost some momentum there to try to gain on Lombard as we're coming down for the white flag. One more time around for the number 8 of Sloppy Joe, Joey Stone. He'll come off turn 2 down the back stretch, heading into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Sloppy Joe will pick up the win in heat race number 2. Lombard for second, Reynolds for third, Baskinger fourth, and at the line, it's going to be WhatiF for 5th, Carnation 6th, Iceberg 7th, and Windvow to round out the rest of the field. Heat race number 3 coming up next. All right, heat race number 3. Before we do the winner's dash, anyways, heat race number 3 on pole for this one's a 59 of Rusty Walrus. The outside of him is the number 2 of Ed Soundhead from Soundhead Entertainment. Row 2 is a 43 of Diego Alvarado. The outside of him is Michael Mertz in the number 48. Row 3 is the 77 of Drive Through, Davin Cornelius. The outside is the 20 of Eric Estep. Cody Workman, C. Workman 388 in row 4 with the CH14 of Caleb Hoffman to round out the field. We're underway with the final heat race of the evening. Heading into turns 3 and 4 for the first time. Off turn 4 is going to be Rusty Walrus to lead lap number 1. Diego sits for 2. Ed Soundhead back for 3. He's going to get a huge run on the high side. He's going to challenge Diego on the outside going to turn number 3. Diego has the momentum on the inside, and Diego's going to stick with the second spot. Here comes Drive Through and Michael Mertz battling for spots 4 and 5. Drive Through on the bottom. Mertz on the high side. Mertz can't make the outside work as Drive Through gets by. And here we go, the battle for the lead cooking up between Diego and Rusty as they go into turns 1 and 2. Diego on the bottom, Rusty to the high side. Can Rusty hold him off turn 2? The outside has not been the friendly favorite here so far. Diego on the bottom, he's going to get the lead off turn 4. New race leader Diego Alvarado on to lead lap number 4. Rusty back for second. Drive Through now up to spot number 3. But Soundhead's not giving up on the high side. He's going to try to make it stick. Mertz is right there on the bumper of Drive Through off turn number 4. He's going to back off just a little bit as Drive Through takes the 3rd spot. Soundhead now moves back to 5th thanks to Mertz getting by for 4th. Mertz is going to challenge Drive Through once again on the bottom. Can he get that 3rd spot away from the 77 as they go into turns 1 and 2? Mertz still on the bottom, trying to get the 3rd spot. He has it at the line that time by. Soundhead back for 5th. Caleb Hoffman now moves into 6th. Cody Workman for 7th. And Estep will round out the field right now. And Mertz in the number 48 gets by Drive Through fully that time by. He'll have sole possession of the 3rd spot. Soundhead being pressured by the 92 of Caleb Hoffman right now. For position number 5. Here comes Hoffman underneath the 2 of Soundhead going into turns 1 and 2. Hoffman going to look for the 5 spot. Can he have it? But Soundhead's been trying to make the outside work this entire race. So far hasn't been paying dividends as he's been losing more spots on the high side, but he's been putting up one heck of a battle there. And he will lose the 5 spot to the 92 of Hoffman coming off turn number 2. Diego's starting to pull away just a little bit in the number 43 car here with 4 laps remaining in this heat. Rusty Walrus sits for 2nd, Mertz in 3rd. The 77 of Drive Through sits in 4th with Hoffman to round out your top 5. Mertz starting to catch up to the number 59 of Rusty Walrus. He's trying to make something work. He's going to make the top side. He's going to try to make the top side work but couldn't make it stick. And now he's going to try the middle groove towards the bottom in 3 and 4. And Soundhead in the number 2 is going to get by the 92 of Caleb Hoffman off corner number 4 to take the 5 spot back. White flag in the air this time by for the number 43 of Diego. Diego Alvarado coming off turn number 2. Down the backstretch, heading into turn 3 for the final time. Your winner for heat race number 3 will go to the 43 of Diego Alvarado. Rusty for second, Roots third, Drive-Thru fourth, Soundhead fifth, Hoffman, Workman, and E-Step to round out the field. Up next is your winner's dash. 8 laps is the distance between your 7 race winners from Course Season 2. All right, here we go. The winner's dash, the 7 winners from Course Season 2, about to determine where they're going to be starting for tonight's 150 lap A main feature here, the Chili Bowl. And green flags in the air. 8 laps is the distance for this one. They lined up based upon how they finish in their heat races. So here we go. Sloppy Joe, Joey Stone to the lead, but here comes Darian Gilliam underneath the 85 of Norm Mile heading into turn number 3. This is for spot number 2. Pasternak, your Course Season 2 champion, underneath the 77 of Drive-Thru for position as well. Gilliam gets by Norm Mile for the second spot. He's not going to challenge Sloppy Joe for the lead in turn number 3. Who's it going to be off corner number 4? It looks to be Darian Gilliam to lead the way. Sloppy Joe there for 2. Norm Mile for 3. Pasternak shuts the door on Drive-Thru off the back, down the backstretch. And Gator gets underneath Sloppy Joe's. We're halfway down, 4 to go in this winner's dash. I guess you could say this is kind of more of the core Pro Bowl since this is all your winners from this season. Norm Mile now takes the second spot away, but here comes WhatiF Brian Pasternak underneath Sloppy Joe for the 3rd position. 3 laps remain this time by as the 25 of Darian Gilliam continues to lead the way. Gator there for 2nd. Again, how they finish here will determine where they start for the 150 lap feature race. Gilliam still leading the charge here with 2 to go as he heads into turns 3 and 4. White flag in the air this time by. Gilliam leading the way. Gator there for 2. WhatiF for 3. Wind Valve's going to challenge Sloppy Joe for 4 in the turns 3 and 4. Final time, Darian Gilliam will pick up the win. Second will go to Norm Mile. Third is WhatiF. Wind Valve gets 4th. Sloppy Joe 5th. Cody H 6th. And Drive-Thru to round out the field. So now you know your startings. So now you know who is guaranteed to start where for the first 7 spots. And we are now left with 1 race remaining. The 150 lap Core Pro Bowl race here at the Chili Bowl. Alrighty, race fans. 150 laps the distance for this A main. Let's go over your 24 cars starting lineup. Starting on the outside of row number 12. In the 24th starting spot, in the number 20, that is Eric E-Step. To the inside of him, in the 23rd starting spot, is the 06 of Kamikaze Games, Ray Jacobs. Starting 22nd on the grid, outside, row number 11, in the C Workman 388 machine number 3, that is Cody Workman. To the inside of him, in the Iceberg NASCAR Weekly Podcast number 88, that is Jarrett Lundberg, starting in position number 21. On the outside of row number 10, in position number 20, in the Brendan Littell Gaming number 22, that is Brendan Littell. It's starting in spot number 19. In the number 92, that is CH14, Caleb Hoffman. Starting on the outside of row number 9, in the 18th starting spot, in the Carnation Cup 1 incarnation number 95, that is Ryan Labonte. To the inside of him, in the Soundhead Entertainment number 2, starting in the 17th starting spot, that is Ed Soundhead. And row number 8 on the outside, in the 16th starting spot, is the 21 of the NASCAR Weekly Podcast, Danny B Talks, Daniel Baldwin. To the inside of him, in the number 38 M&M's Looking Ride, it's Jake Baskinger. Starting in row number 7, in the 14th starting spot, is the number 12 of IDK player Jonathan Ramos. To the inside of him, in the number 48, that is Michael Mrutz. Starting in row number 6 on the outside, 12th starting spot, in the number 27 machine, that is Dale Reynolds, your Course Season 1 champion. To the inside of him, in the number 59, that is Rusty Walrus. And now your top 10 starters for this A main race. Starting in spot number 10, outside row number 5, and number 82, that is Joseph Lombard, N2SC4R. And the inside of him, in number 43, that is Diego Alvarado. Starting in the outside of row number 4 in the 8th starting spot, that is the 34 of NASCAR and NDK, Jet Krause. To the inside of him in number 77, drive-through Sim Series machine, that is drive-through Davin Cornelius. Row number 3 on the outside, 6th starting spot in the number 28 Cody H Gaming machine, that is Cody Hicken. To the inside of him in the number 8 Sloppy Joe ERCR, that is Joey Stone. Row number 2 on the outside in the WinVal 882000 car, that is Michael Cosi Jr. To the inside of him in the number 1 WhatiF Racing Core Season 2 champion Brian Pasternak. And now your front row starters. In the number 85, that is Raw Gator Trey Normile. And on pole for this one is the number 25 of NASCAR Weekly Podcast member Black Flags Matter, Darian Gilliam.
Drivers, start your engines!
And now the command has been given. 24 cars, 3 heats, and a winner's dash to determine your starting lineup for this 150-lap A-Main race here at the Chili Bowl. Who's going to win the Core Pro Bowl? Put your comments in the... Make your predictions in the comments. Who's it gonna be? We have a long race ahead of us. As pace car pulls off turn 3. Drivers are rounding turns 3 and 4 for this one. And green flags in the air, we're underway! And a little bit of chaos going towards the back. It was 3 wide. Lombard was in the middle of it, and he's still in the middle of a 3 wide situation with Alvarado and Hicken. And now he's going to try to make sure he doesn't get into a 3 wide situation any longer. But Rusty Waller's throwing his nose in there, the number 59, trying to make something happen here as they complete 2 laps of this 150-lap A-Main. Right now, your leader is the Core Season 2 champion, WhatiF Racing, leading the way. But here comes Sloppy Joe in the number 8. We've seen this battle too many times between Pasternak and Stone throughout the Core Season 2 racing adventure. But Darian Gilliam fighting hard, and here comes drive-through in the 77. He's underneath Gilliam, but Gilliam's fighting hard on the high side. He's trying to make that outside work. The outside has not been the friendly favorite this far into the racing program. Sloppy Joe puts a small block on Darian down the backstretch, trying to hold on to a second place position, trying to catch the number 1 of WhatiF. Right now, WhatiF the leader. Sloppy Joe for second, drive through for third. Black flags, Darian Gilliam for 4th. Alvarado now in position number 5, as now he's going to lose the spot to Gator at the line. Gator has a spot by a tire. Diego Alvarado back to position number 6. Soundhead now for 7th. Rusty Walrus in 8th, and Lombard and WinVal to round out your top 10. Here comes Kamikaze Games, who started all the way back in 23rd, has now worked his way up looking for a top 10 spot. Behind them, further back, it's the Workman number 3, Lundberg in the 88 and the 38 of Baskinger, and Workman gets the best of that one. And drive-through has gotten by the 8 of Sloppy Joe for position number 2, as the 1 of WhatiF still leading the way with 10 laps completed here, and has bridged a gap between himself and second place car of drive-through. Battle for third shaping up is Sloppy Joe and Raw Gator battling out. Sloppy Joe on the high side, Gator down low. Gator looking for the 3rd spot as they go into turn number 3. Sloppy Joe had it when they came across the line last time by, and this time it's going to be Raw Gator for the 3rd spot. Sloppy Joe back to 4th. Soundhead now into 5th. Black flags matter. Darian Gilliam trying to hold off Diego Alvarado. That's for position number 6. Diego on the bottom. Gilliam down up high. And Alvarado has a spot coming across the line, putting Gilliam back to position number 7. Jet Krause in the 34, Lombard in the 82, battling for spots 9 and 10 here. Lombard on the bottom, he'll take position number 9 as they come across the line. Right now, your leader is still Brian Pasternak in the number 1 car. Drive-through sitting for spot number 2, while Raw Gator sits in 3rd, Sloppy Joe for 4th, and Soundhead for 5th. Battle for 6 going on between Kamikaze, who's again started 23rd in this feature, has now worked his way up to the 6th spot. Gilliam now for 7th, Diego Alvarado back to 8th, Lombard for 9th, and Dale Reynolds, your core Season 1 champion, has now rounded out the top 10. Here comes Rusty Walrus underneath MDK for spot number 11. He has it at the line. MDK back to 12th. Workman then down to 13th spot. Woodenval for 14th. Danny B 15th. Hoffman 16th. Baskinger 17th. E-Step 18th. 19th is Lundberg. IDK 20th. And then Littell, Hicken, Roots, and Carnation to round out the rest of the field. As we're now coming on to lap number 20. WhatiF still your leader. Drive-through sits for spot number 2. And Kamikaze in the 06 is now worked up to spot number 4. 20 laps have been completed so far into this race. And WhatiF Racing, like he has been all season long, been up towards the front. It continues to lead the way as we complete lap number 21. Drive-through for 2nd, Gator for 3rd, but here comes Kamikaze in the 4th spot. Sloppy Joe and Soundhead are battling out for the 5th and 6th spot. Soundhead's going to take the spot coming off corner number 4. Sloppy Joe now goes back to the 6th position. Gilliam sits there for 7th, Rusty to 8th, Alvarado for 9th, and Lombard to round out your top 10. Here comes Cody Workman, the number 3. He's going to try to see if he can sneak his way into the top 10 now. Windbound, the 00, trying to work his way back up towards the front. As he gets by the 34th MDK off turn 2. As he's got the battle with the 27 of Reynolds. Reynolds underneath Workman coming down the front stretch. And he'll have the spot coming off turn number 1, but Workman will say otherwise in turn 2 as he gets the run on the high side. Meanwhile, going back towards the front, the 06 of Kamikaze still trying to figure out a way to get around Raw Gator, or at least challenge him for that 3rd spot. Meanwhile, while that's going on, Drive-through the 77 trying to figure out how to catch up to the 1 of WhatiF. As WhatiF is not too far behind the slower traffic in front of him as we complete lap number 27. Drive-through now sitting quietly for 2nd. 3rd is Raw Gator, but Kamikaze still knocking on the door from the 4th spot as they head into turns 3 and 4. Here comes Sloppy Joe in the number 8. He's going to challenge Soundhead for 5th and take that spot back as we go into turns 1 and 2. Gilliam will watch quietly from the 7th spot in the number 25. Lombard underneath Walrus for the 8th spot. He has it for sure. Walrus back to 9th, and Windval has now worked his way back up into the top 10, putting Alvarado back to 11th. Reynolds for 12th. MDK to 13th. Workman 14th, and Jake Baskinger up into the top 15. He's going to look for 14th round. Workman, he's got it off corner number 4. And Sloppy Joe into turn number 3. He's got his hands full with Soundhead in number 2, but Sloppy Joe will hold him off for the 5 spot. Meanwhile, Kamikaze has now gotten into the top 3 in the 06 car. He's figured out a way to get around the 85 of Raw Gator. And WhatiF Racing in the number 1 is really closing in on the slower traffic. He goes into turns 3 and 4. He's about a full straightaway behind now, and looking to catch up to the 95 of Carnation, who is the last place car at the time being. Roots in number 48 trying to work his way up as he's underneath the 28 of Cody Hicken. That's for spot number 22. WhatiF really catching up to the slower traffic. Little by little, and pulling away little by little from the 77 of Drive-through as we complete lap number 35. So Drive-through for 2nd, Kamikaze 3rd, Mile fourth. Soundhead has got back by the 8 of Sloppy Joe for fifth, putting Sloppy Joe back to sixth. Gilliam for seventh. Here comes Lombard in the 82. He's going to look underneath the 25 of Gilliam down the front stretch, heading into turns 1 and 2. Lombard going to look for spot number 7. Gilliam trying to hold him off on the high side down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. Off turn number 4, Lombard's going to have the 7th spot. Gilliam back to 8th, Winval for 9th, and Rusty to round out your top 10. Dale Reynolds has gone backwards some in the number 27 car. But meanwhile, we're going to look towards the back of the pack here as Carnation's gone by Cody Hicken. And here's the one of WhatiF, your race leader, on the back bumper of the 28 of Cody H. Looking underneath through 1 and 2 to put him down a lap. He's going to put him down a lap here, coming off turn number 4, this time by Pasternak. He's left his first car on the completion of lap number 40. Drive-through still sitting for second, while Kamikaze sits for third, Mile for fourth, Soundhead for fifth, Sloppy Joe sixth, and Lombard seventh. Gilliam for eighth, Winval ninth, and Rusty Wallers for 10th. Cody Workman has worked his way back up to position number 11, Diego for 12th. 13th is Jake Baskinger, 14th is going to be Eric Estep as he's looking underneath MDK. Estep started dead last in this main feature, is now worked his way up into the top 15. Hopping behind them with Dale Reynolds, IDK, Littell, Danny B, Lundberg to round out the rest of the lead lap cars. The 95 of Carnation, first car, 1 lap down, sitting in position number 22. 23rd is Mertz, and rounding out the field is Cody Hicken. But here comes the 06 of Kamikaze, gaining in on the 77 of Drive-Thru, trying to see if he can get that second spot away. Gator watching from position number 4. A little bit of a distance back is the 2 of Ed Soundhead from position number 5. Lombard now into 6. Sloppy Joe is going to lose the 7th spot here very shortly if he keeps running that high line. Gilliam's charging in the number 25 machine. Behind them, the battle heating up between Rusty and the 00 Winval, and Rusty hit the wall off turn 4. That opens the door for the 3 of Cody Workman to take the 10th spot away, going to the turns 3 and 4. Rusty up again, way up high, just misses the wall that time as Workman takes the 10th spot away. Rusty back to 11th, Diego for 12th. Here comes Estep in the number 20 underneath the 38 of Baskinger. That's for position number 13 on the grid. And too close a call by fractions right there. Estep has the spot at the line. Dale Reynolds goes way up high, just misses the wall that time by as he opened the door for the 12 of IDK, and here comes the 1 of Pasternak. Cars currently on the lead lap right now. Setting the fastest lap of the race so far is the 85 of Trey Normile. And now 19 cars are now on the lead lap as WhatiF gets by the 22 of Littell. Drive-through trying to make something work here in the number 77, just can't gain any momentum. Kamikaze in the 06. He's been trying to reel in Drive-through this entire time from the 3rd spot. Lombard starting to gain in on the 2 of Ed Soundhead. That's going to be for battle on spot number 5. Winval and Workman battling for positions 9 and 10. Further on back is Winval underneath Workman. Workman fighting hard on the high side going into turn number 3. As the 00 Winval might have something to say otherwise off turn 4. He has a 9th spot by half a car when they come across the line. Workman's going to try to make that outside work still as he goes into turns 3 and 4. Winval on the bottom, Workman up high. Workman trying to hold off, can't make it work as Winval still holds the 9th spot as they come across the line. Workman still trying to make the outside work, and he's still battling with the 00 of Michael Cosi Jr. And Workman will back out of that one. Rusty had to watch all of that from spot number 11. As E-Step is now to spot number 13, as we are now approaching the top 15 cars, as WhatiF in the number 1 starting to catch up to everyone else. He's catching up to the 34 of MDK, who's currently in the 15th spot. So IDK for 16th, Hoffman 17th, Danny B 18th, 19th is Dale Reynolds, 20th is Littell, Carnation 21st, Lundberg 22nd, 23rd is Mertz, and Hicken is 24th, and Kamikaze's up to spot number 2, so he's gone by drive-through for the 2nd spot. As 2nd and 3rd starting to work with the slower traffic. Gator sits for 4th, Soundhead for 5th, but Soundhead getting closer and closer to the 85 of Raw Gator to heat up that battle for spots number 4 and 5. Lombard sitting quietly from spot number 6. Meanwhile, Sloppy Joe right there for position number 7. Gilliam for 8th. Winval for 9th, and Workman for rounding out the top 10. WhatiF underneath the 34 of MDK. He's going to put the 15th place car down a lap here on the completion of lap number 64. So put MDK down a lap. And drive-through is starting to work on the 48 of Mertz. And trying to catch up to the 06 of Kamikaze to take the 2nd spot back. Going into turns 1 and 2. He's reeling in the gap there as drive-through gets by the 48 of Mertz in turns 1 and 2 and catching up to the 06 of Kamikaze. Kamikaze catching up to Carnation now. Can he put some kind of distance between him and drive-through for the time being? Let's see how all that will pan out. As WhatiF is catching up to the 38 of Jake Baskinger now. And here comes Lombard in the number 82. He's going to see if he can challenge Soundhead for position number 5. Going into turns 3 and 4, Soundhead throws a block that checks up Lombard. The Soundhead goes up high. Can Lombard make the bottom stick this time by? Soundhead going to look to the high side, and Lombard's going to follow his tire tracks. Gilliam catching up to the 8 of Sloppy Joe. That is for spot number 7 and 8. Stone currently has the 7th spot. Gilliam back to 8th. Winval now has his hands full with Workman in turns 1 and 2. Workman's going to try to see if he can get that 9th position way. And here comes Winval going way up high in turns 3 and 4. Almost contact there between Workman and Winval coming off corner number 4. Winval making the outside work this time. But Workman's going to be knocking on the door on the bottom. As you see here, coming off turn number 4, Workman's right there on the bottom, just can't make it stick. Winval is making the outside work somehow. Can Workman outwork the 00 here? Further on up, here's a battle for position number 4. Soundhead underneath the 85 of Gator. And he'll have the spot off corner number 4 as Soundhead's going to work on the 48 of Mertz to try to get by him. So drive-through has gone by the 06 of Kamikaze. Kamikaze's trying to catch back up to drive-through. And meanwhile, your race leader, WhatiF, in the number 1 car, is closing in on the 11th place car of Rusty Walrus now. WhatiF Racing still leads the charge. E-Step and Baskinger battling for position. They may be 1 lap down, but they're battling for a position. Passenger 13th, E-Step 14th right now. So drive-through now has gotten by the 88 of Lundberg. That puts a little bit of distance between him and Kamikaze for the battle for second and third, but Kamikaze is going to get right underneath the 88 of Lundberg to try to get by him and work on the 77 of drive-through to get that second spot. Soundhead underneath Carnation to get around him. Lombard and Gator battling out for 5th and 6th positions. And Darian Gilliam going to be caught up by the 00 of Winval. Winval right there in the back. Bumper going into turn number 3. He's going to look underneath the 25 of Gilliam for position number 8 at the line. Too close to call, but it was Gilliam right there at the line to have the spot, but Winval says otherwise down the backstretch into turn number 3. Winval had it by half a car off corner number 4. Winval has the spot for sure. And that puts Gilliam way up to the top side. Here comes Workman at number 3 looking for position number 9. Winval going up high to try to challenge the 8 of Sloppy Joe off corner number 4. Just missed the wall. Drifted up high and just barely missed the wall off turn number 4, and Gilliam's now being challenged by the 3 of Workman here. Behind them is the 1 of Brian Pasternak. He's still trying to work on lapping the 59 of Rusty. As we're going to have 60 laps to go next time WhatiF passes the line. Workman's gotten by Winval and Darian to put him in the 8th spot. Darian's gotten by Winval to take the 9th spot. And here's a battle further on up. Lombard underneath Soundhead. This is for position number 4. Soundhead on the high side, Lombard down low. Lombard has it, and Kamikaze and Drive-Thru is still exchanging back and forth for the 2nd and 3rd spot as Kamikaze is now working on the 27 of Dale Reynolds. Lombard's gotten by the 2 of Soundhead, now getting by the 22 of Littell. It's not for position. Littell is down a lap here. WhatiF has gotten by the 59 of Rusty Walrus, leaving the top 10 cars all on the lead lap at the time being. So on the completion of lap number 95, 55 laps to go. WhatiF currently your leader. Drive-Thru, no, it's Kamikaze for second, but here comes Drive-Thru on the inside, looking for the 2nd spot away. As he going to turn 3 and 4, Drive-Thru is going to take 2nd back, putting Kamikaze back to 3rd. Lombard sits in 4th. Soundhead right there for spot number 5. Dre Norma on the 85 sits in 6th. 7th is Sloppy Joe in the 8th. 8th is Darian Gilliam. 9th is being battled up between Winval and Workman. Winval has it off the corner as Workman goes back to 10th, but Workman's making the outside work, and WhatiF is following his tire track, sort of. Winval gets by for sure, and WhatiF is right there to put Workman down a lap. Winval blocks Workman, opens the door for WhatiF to lap him. drive-through still trying to hold off the 06 of Ray Jacobs as we're under 50 laps to go. So your current running order as we speak, Brian Pastering in the 1, currently your leader. Second, coming off turn 2 now is the 77 of drive-through. Kamikaze sitting for 3rd, Lombard 4th. 5th is Soundhead. 6th is Normile. 7th is the 8 of Sloppy Joe. Darian Gilliam, last car on the lead lap, sits in 8th. 9th is Wind Valve. Michael Kosey Jr., Cody Workman will round out your top 10. Both cars 1 lap down. Rusty Walrus in 11th. Diego Alvarado 12th. Jake Baskinger 13th. Danny B sits in 14th. Rounding out your top 15 is Eric Estep. Jet Krause in 16th. 17th is IDK. 18th is Dale Reynolds. 19th is Jarrett Lundberg. And Brendan Littell will sit in 20th. 21st is Caleb Hoffman. Roots is in 22nd. Carnation in 23rd, but that might change here shortly. And Cody Hicken in the number 28 is officially gone 2 laps down to round out the rest of your field. Drive-through puts IDK in between him and Kamikaze to calm that battle down some. Soundhead has gotten by the 88 of Lundberg and the 22 of Littell, as Normile being caught up in between a couple lap cars here of Littell and Hoffman, as he was caught up to the 2 of Soundhead, but Soundhead got by the 3 lap cars fine, but Normile being held up by the 92 of Hoffman. Soundhead trying to close the gap on him and Lombard. This will heat up the battle for position number 4. Lombard currently has the 4th spot. Soundhead sitting in 5th. As Lombard trying to is working on getting around the 27 of Dale Reynolds. Further on up, Kamikaze's gone by the 12 of IDK, and as that happens, drive-through number 77 is going around MDK, putting yet another car between him and Kamikaze to separate those two. And WhatiF is right there in the bumper of Darian Gilliam. Gilliam gets by Carnation. So with that happening, Carnation goes down another lap. Gilliam trying to stay on the lead lap right now. But WhatiF been so strong all night in the number 1 car, putting the 8th place car down a lap of Darian Gilliam. So Sloppy Joe in the 7th spot is the last car on the lead lap. Michael Mertz going to go down another lap here. As Normile has finally gotten by the 92 of Hoffman and the 88 of Lundberg, as now he's going to work on the 22 of Littell to try to catch back up to the number 2 of Ed Soundhead. Kamikaze trying to make the outside work on trying to get around the 34 of MDK. He goes way up high there. He's trying to make the outside work. A lot of drivers have been trying to make the outside be the best groove possible. But so far, the inside has prevailed every single time. Drive-through working on the 20 of Eric Estep now. And Workman in the number 3 just tagged the wall off corner number 4. As he's trying to reel in the 25 of Darian Gilliam, that'll be the battle for position number 8. Sloppy Joe has now gone down a lap, and now he's going to try to fight his way to get that lap back. Off corner number 4, Sloppy Joe's back onto the lead lap here, as he's trying to get by the 92 of Hoffman to create some separation between him and WhatiF now. So Sloppy Joe's going around the 92 of Hoffman, but WhatiF gone by Hoffman, and Sloppy Joe gets held up by the 88 of Lundberg. WhatiF's going to put Sloppy Joe back down a lap. As Sloppy Joe's now got his hands full with the 92 of Hoffman once again. Carmile trying to catch back up to the number 2 of Ed Soundhead. Try to see if he can get that 5th position. Lombard doing anything he can to try to catch up to the 06 of Kamikaze, but Kamikaze has had his eyes focused on the 77 of Drive-Thru to get that 2nd spot back. But every time Kamikaze passes a lap card, Drive-Thru gets to another one and gets by them. Workman and Gilliam heating up their battle there. That's for position number 7. Or I'm sorry, position number 8. Sloppy Joe is in spot number 7. And Workman gets by Gilliam by a half a car at the line to have the 8th spot, putting Gilliam back to 9th. Sloppy Joe still has his hands full with the 92 of Caleb Hoffman, as Workman's now going to try to challenge Sloppy Joe for the 7th spot into turns 1 and 2. He's on the bottom of Sloppy Joe off turn number 2. Sloppy Joe gets to run on the high side, making it work, but here comes Workman trying to squeeze in, but Sloppy Joe has a spot by a tire as they come across the line. Sloppy Joe has the high side to work for now. Workman trying to make the bottom prevail. Sloppy Joe still holding on to the high side. Workman underneath. Workman gets by Sloppy Joe for the 7th spot. Carmile has basically caught back up to the 2 of Ed Soundhead. Can he get onto the bumper of him as we go into turns 3 and 4? Carmile is going to have his hands full soon with WhatiF, if WhatiF can get by the 22 of Littell. Littell currently sits in the 19th spot. Last car 1 lap down, because the first car 2 laps down is the 88 of Jared Lundberg in the 20th spot. Workman gets by Hoffman, but Sloppy Joe's still struggling with Caleb Hoffman. With that going on, Gilliam's starting to rail in the number 8 of Sloppy Joe. And he's in the 9th spot. Sloppy Joe in 8th. Gilliam wants the 8th position now. He's on the bumper of Sloppy Joe as they go into the corner. Workman drifts up, but he controls the car to make sure he doesn't hit the wall. As Sloppy Joe loses the 8th spot to Darian Gilliam now. Gilliam underneath Caleb Hoffman gets by him and is now going to try to work on the number 3 of Cody Workman for the 7th spot. Soundhead gets by Dale Reynolds here, putting a little bit of a gap and an extra car between him and Gator. But Reynolds is going to fight back underneath the 2 of Soundhead. Try to hold him off. Kamikaze and Drive-Thru are still battling out between 2nd and 3rd. Kamikaze eventually got back by the 77 of Drive-Thru, as right now the 1 car of WhatiF just came across the line to complete lap number 143, as we're going to be approaching the final 6 laps of this race. WhatiF still leading the way. All the way back in 2nd as they just cross the line is Kamikaze of Ray Jacobs. Drive-Thru sitting for 3rd. Lombard in 4th. Soundhead to round out the top 5 with Raw Gator. currently sitting in the 6th, and he's the final driver on the lead lap. Pasternak now with 4 laps remaining to cap off what has been an incredible championship season for Core Season 2. 3 laps to go this time by. What if struggled at the start of the season and then worked his way and stayed consistent. He got his first win at Watkins Glen and then went back and forth with Joey Stone for a number of races. White flag one more time around. What if to cap off a spectacular championship season comes around turns 3 and 4. What if wins the Core Pro Bowl at the Chili Bowl? Second, we'll go to the 06 of Ray Jacobs Kamikaze. Dab and drive-through finishes in 3rd. Lombard 4th. Normile just got by Soundhead for 5th, putting Soundhead in 6th. So again, what if Kamikaze, drive-through, Lombard, Gator for your top 5. Soundhead was the last car on the lead lap in 6th. Workman, Black Flags Matter, Sloppy Joe, and Windvow to round out your top 10. Rusty, Danny B, Jake Baskinger, Diego, and Eric Eastep to round out the top 15. MDK, IDK player, Dale Reynolds, Brendan Littell, and Jarrett Lundberg to round out the top 20. And Caleb Hoffman, Carnation, Michael Mertz, and Cody H. to round out the rest of the field. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. And again, have a good night. Follow me on TNT Network 61 on Twitter. And like I said, have a good night.